Hi, I'm Liam, aka Grey Rose, and welcome back to the road to the Hall of Fame. We're still on 15 points, and we're just gonna keep on cracking on. We should probably, well, I'll probably finish the novice ones, and we might start on the apprentice labs as well. So, without further ado, let's go to no brackets, which as a lab I actually remember created. So hopefully I don't immediately forget how everything works. Let's try our standard test payload. See no execution there. Let's have a little look at what's going on here. Search bar, okay. So we're similarly to a couple of the previous examples, we're grabbing the URL params from window.location.search. We're grabbing the search one, and then we're running that. But here, line 17, it's actually splitting over the brackets. So if we just go and inspect element here, we should see that, yeah, it's being normalized to that because there's an alert after that, and then it's there, and then the second script, which it's not actually just stripping that out; it's stripping all of this out, splitting over there, splitting over there, and then stripping all of it out, and then the browser will automatically re-inject a closing tag or inject a closing tag to try and browsers are quite good at assuming or trying to assume what you're doing and fixing things for you. So this is going to be an interesting one. We've got some other things we can do, however. So instead of using where are we? Let's see. We can use backticks here, and oh, sorry, we're using an HTML call, so we need to use an image tag. Source. The broken image tag on error alert. We're going to use backticks here. Now, this is slightly harder. Oh, my computer does not like it when I use backticks for some reason. We call that, then we do get alert one. Now, that looks like the same alert one as this, right? Visually, it's the set. Sorry, I'll show you that a little bit closer. Visually, it's quite similar, but in actual fact, it's slightly different because this is actually a string. So if we were going to do, and I'll show you this here. So if we were just going to replace this with document.cookie here, document.cookie, you see it's the string document.cookie, not the actual value of the flag. So that means that we then have to do something slightly different. But it should be fine. Now, if I remember this correctly, I should be able to do this. If we do, so the other one is you can try and do string interpolation. Now, this also doesn't work because of how functions are called, like so. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to eval something. We're going to eval alert, and then we're going to use octal encoding. So if I use, I think it's 51. Yeah, and then 50 is that one. So we can use octal encoding inside strings here. I'll show you this a bit bigger. Sit here. If we do eval and then, or if we actually just do this and then alert back 51, and then see that. No, octals aren't allowed in template strings. So instead of that, we're going to use a different encoding. We can use, there's like 5 or 6 that JavaScript support. Oh, there's hex, isn't there? Is that? Should be able to use back X. Yeah, so that's it. And then I think it's 51, 61 is A. Is it 3E? No, it's not. It's 3C. We'll do this in decoder quickly. So let's just grab these two. Encode as octal. No, not octal, sorry. Encode as hex. Well, I'm not going to do that here. Oh, where are we? Fortunately, it doesn't actually allow you to encode everything. We get, let's go to here. See if we can force it to show us. I could Google it, but we're not going to Google it. Oh, it's 28. Okay. So should be 28 here. There you go. Cent 28 is, of course, the URL encoding, so we can do this. And I think we can use this in backx 28. Yeah, cool. So what we do instead is, instead of alert 1, we use backx 29, backx 28, like so. That causes alert 1. We can then eval that string, this string like so, and this should then call us generates you an array. Do I have to call that? No. Oh yeah, so template strings actually do return you an array. We might then be able to eval at all. You can't tell, it's a Friday afternoon and I'm quite tired. We can try and use base64 encoding, or we might need to redo that. Been a while. Let's just try stuff. Let's try this. Yeah, and then that then generates us an array like that. Okay, cool. Oh, that doesn't work. Eval on a template string. So we can also do just do this quickly. So this also shouldn't work. Yeah, you can't call that. So we can do the other one we can do actually is it's a kind of eval-esque thing, but it actually works slightly better. So we're going to eval a function. Oh no, let's do at actually. Let's do at and then constructor here, which constructs as a function based on a string we provide. We can then do this, provide this as our string, and then we can call it, and then that works. And I think actually because of how this works, we can then just call document.cookie straight away. Yeah, we can. So what we're doing here instead is that eval stuff's interesting to know about, but you can you want to create an anonymous function and then calls that function. You can see that this is actually using using brackets there, so that won't quite work for our thing, but we can iterate on this just quickly. So what we do here is this is an object, and then this has a function at, right? So that's a function at native code. Every function's constructor is an anonymous function call, so you can then walk back to constructor. The constructor is then, we do that, yeah, so it's an anonymous function. So you can then see if we put alert1 in here, you've got an anonymous function with alert1 in. So then when we then call that using these brackets, that then fires. So that's kind of the interesting thing. The reason why I kind of defaulted to doing it like that is a lot of times kind of dots or other characters or the brackets are not permitted. They're not allowed to be used. So What we're going to do instead is we're going to try and do. I'm going to try and do this. Now, I'm not actually sure if this is going to work, but oh, it does work. Okay, cool. So then we can just call that. Sweet. So yeah, you can pass a template string in into that, which I guess does make sense based on how it all works. So this is quite interesting one. So then what we do here is in our image tag here, what we're going to do. Oh, not do that. On error equals, and then we'll just wrap with some double quotes, and then when we fire that, it should then alert. Once we've got, yeah, you got that. You can see that that's not working there. So that's quite a kind of interesting way of solving that. There is definitely a better way of doing it. I forget how I did it originally. Because, well, I think actually originally I wrote that lab on Dominic, which is like a collection of DOM-based cross-site scripting labs on GitHub. And so you only needed to call alert one. So it didn't mind, you didn't care that it was a string. Obviously in this one you need to like mess around a little bit more. But anyway, hopefully that was a bit interesting. On to the next one. Interpolation. Right. Let's launch this lab. Let's close that down here. Let's search for our test string. And oh, we've already got a broken image tag. What's going on here? Let's go inspect. Yeah, and again, yeah, cool. So this is a template string here. The ones like the ones we're using there. So you can actually use variable interpolation. So that just means that search there is going to be placed in the source parameter. So you can see here that the source is equal to test. Now, it doesn't do anything like intelligent with that. So what we can probably do is something called attribute injection by implementing. So we do that test, then a space, then on error equals, and then we're just going to do alert one. That should then call. Yeah, it does. You see, we've broken out there. Let's just make this nice and big. Broken out there, then injecting our alert one, which is then causing the execution. And we should just be able to straight away do that as well. Again, break out there, and then we have this hanging. So because this one's was originally there, but that's a kind of fun little attribute injection by string interpolation, which is just kind of a unique, interesting variation on DOM XSS. Right then, I'm solved. Right, 17 points. We've got 2 more of these. Click. Yeah. Cool. Some lazy developer. I think that this is very similar to the other one, which is the href XSS here. I think the difference is I've actually I implemented it slightly differently. Left an auto clicker in here. So what we should just be able to do is exactly the same as the last one. Like that, we submit, and then oh, that hasn't fired. Why is that not fired? Yeah, sorry, there's the hidden tag here. So ID tracker JavaScript level now. Euro promises that gets it, and then yes, and then you have to actually click on it using this. So if you have a look at this function, it's not the same as the href one, because what we do is we grab the href from the search term. This is then read into the href here, injected using this function tracking, but the clicker has to be passed by the hash value. So now the hash value, if I set that to here, and then we just load the page here, you can see that then calls it. With hash values, when you're updating the hash value, it doesn't reload the page. Hash values are kind of sometimes used to track things around pages, so it doesn't force a page reload even when you change it. Unlike if you were to kind of update a URL parameter or something like that. So cookie, that. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. You can see that then executes there. So slightly different. There is, as I said, you just need to remember that you're passing the passing that hash in, and when you're testing, you'll need to reload the page, but like force the page to reload as opposed to I forget if yeah, no, it does sort of work. You can pass hash values. Cool. You'll have to remember to, because like if I were just tracker there, or even to then set that back to the tracker, that doesn't actually force a page reload because it's only the hash that's changing. You have to actually like force it to reload for that to then trigger. Cool. And new dealer. This is definitely one of mine. New dealer. I think I called it this because it's a joke on let's see. Yeah. Sorry. It's a new dealer because we are using the yeah, there you go. Because pass HTML there. So decode URI component window location.hash.slice1. Var image is document tracker. So yeah, document.domain / tracker plus tracker plus ID equals tracker. Right. So this is an image. So what we do here is very similar to the old one. But instead this time we're using single quotes. So we get on error equals single quote like that. Then that oh no. Let me just quickly grab. Actually, I should just be able to. Oh yeah, sorry. It's the you search for like sorry the yeah, no. So you search for there. It's the here, and it's actually the hash, not the search term. So what we'll do here instead is we'll put a little hash in there. We'll grab this over here, and then that should then trigger our alert. Honestly, just rushing through. And then that then ends up there. And then if you call tracker on this page instead, you'll be able to see that it's that. And then when that's injected back into our or passed as part of the image tag, you then get your full injection, which is fun. Which is fun. Cool. Oh, did I remember to copy that? I did. That's not going to work. Yeah, and then you've got to wait 10 seconds between submissions. So we're just going to wait 10 seconds because I fat fingered that. Let's have a look. I hope this works. Yay, look at that. So now we've done all the novice labs, which is great fun. I spent a little bit longer on that first one than I should have done, being silly, forgetting the kind of brackets rules. There are other ways of solving that, which we will get to. But yeah, anyway, next time we'll move on to some apprentice labs. But thank you very much for sitting through this, and yeah, catch you in the next one. Cheers.